This is why I deleted my Tinder and why every single girl watching this needs to delete her Tinder too. This happened a few years ago, and I honestly consider myself so incredibly lucky to be alive after experiencing this. I was living in New York City at the time, and I matched with a guy. For the entire time we were talking, he was really aggressively trying to get me to go out with him. And eventually I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna let this guy take me out on a date. Maybe I'm just being judgmental. Maybe he's not being desperate. Maybe he's just putting in an effort. So the day of the date rolls around, and he tells me that he wants to take me out to a restaurant that is a bit of a hidden gem and is a little bit outside of the city in an area of Westchester called Yonkers. And even though he offered to drive me, I was like, no, it's all good. I actually had my own car in New York City, so I agreed to meet up with him. Now, I feel like an absolute idiot because I didn't even Google this place before I went. So on the night of the date, I'm driving to this place. I put it into my GPS, and it's really weird because as soon as I see it in the GPS, it says that the place is closed. So I text my date and I'm like, hey, I just put this place into the GPS and it is telling me that it is actually closed. To which he replies, oh no, don't worry. They're really bad at updating their hours. This is the part where I should have just been like, oh hell no, and I should have canceled the date. But somehow I decided it would be a good idea to get in my car and drive 40 minutes to Yonkers for a date with a guy. So after 40 minutes of driving in traffic, I arrive at this place in Yonkers. I pull up to the building and I quickly realize that there is nobody in the parking lot and that indeed this business is really closed. Not to mention, my car is the only car in the parking lot. So I start to panic, and as I look behind me to put my car in reverse, I notice another car pull up. This car pulls up right beside me. I don't even look at the person sitting in the car. I just simply back up out of that parking lot as fast as I can, and I get the heck out of there. The entire way home, I am just looking in my rear view mirror to see if there's anyone behind me, and thankfully there was not. And the craziest part of all of this is when I got home, I went back onto that dating app and I could see that the profile had unmatched with me. I never got a chance to screenshot that profile. I never learned the guy's last name, but I can't tell you guys how many times I've heard this happening to girls on dating apps. It's not worth it. Just delete it for your own safety. And if you are going to be on dating apps, please always make sure to get the person's last name and to meet in a place that you are familiar with.
Sound advice. I'm so happy that she chose to meet them there. She didn't look it up, but that's okay. That's okay. But we know now. We know that we need to look up places before we decide to go places. Just a rule of thumb, maybe, you know. So glad that did not end up wrong. I'm so glad she trusted her gut, because that's what we're doing in 2025. Trusting our gut, listening to that voice in our head. That voice in our head is God. We know this from 2024. So 2025, we're going to listen to that voice. We're going to listen to our gut. We're going to listen to our woman intuition. We're going to, because she backed up out there. You can't even imagine what would have happened if she did. I'm glad everything just worked out great. Honey, I'm gonna have to tell this story. I'm gonna tell my grandmama's story. Like I think she'll be okay with me telling this story. So one night, my grandmama and her cousin was going somewhere. I think they went out to eat or whatever. And I guess somebody, I don't know how it got to this situation, but they were going home, driving in the car, and they realized a car was following them. And I think it was like somebody from the spot they were, because you haven't seen my grandmama, but my grandmama is fine, like, oh my goodness, exotic fine, like hazel eyes, beautiful, kissed by the sun, skin look like dirt, like Egyptian dirt, like, you know, the sands in Egypt. Come on, skin popping. So I don't know how the situation happened, but they were following her. They were following them. So my grandmother hits a curve, like a back road, because, you know, we live in the country, hits a back road that has like curves and twists, and cuts her headlights off. For a good mile, she drove with no headlights in the country on the curves. Because I know you ever been to Virginia, my Virginia people, you know those back roads. You know they're curvy. They're curvy as hell. You'd be like, what? We just hit a curve. We're still in the curve. We're still in the curve. It'd be like 2 miles, still in the curve. Hits the back road, loses the guy. Like, every time I hear that, I'd be like, but grandma, tell that story, because it's just like, yo, what boss stuff. You literally shook this person by cutting off your lights. And I used her story one time. It was a cop following me, and I hit a back road, cut those lights off, and backed into somebody's driveway. Yo, but yeah, honey, love that everything worked out, and she just What were her instincts?
Yeah, this is gonna be a story time where I'm gonna tell y'all how my first ever date went like. So basically, we started speaking back in January. Yeah, exactly. It literally took me a year to actually sit and talk about this right now on TikTok. I've been very transparent on TikTok quite a lot sometime now. So I was like, why not I talk about this, especially after my 2024 recap. Some of y'all have asked me and even texted me personally asking me how the date went and all. I'm very surprised how you're so invested about this. Like, you guys like literally are so interested to listen me yapping. And if you're wondering how the talking stage went, it was good. It was consistent for 2 weeks. It was very consistent. And in that talking stage itself, I somehow like came to a point that he is someone who's choosing to like have a committed relationship, because I can't speak to men who don't want a committed relationship. Like, if they want something like, you know, I don't know, just fling a thing up for that, and he was not up for that either. So I guess we were on the same page during that time, and that was very nice. During the date, we went out at night. Yeah, he picked me up and everything. Very chivalrous, I know. But yeah, we went to a cafe and we talked a lot. We literally talked a lot. We shared our interests, we shared everything. Like, he was just literally very respectful. That's why it made me comfortable to talk even more, because he was very respectful towards me. Also, this one thing happened where I embarrassed myself. So basically, I remember telling him during the talking stage that I love gazing at KLCC during the nights. Because, you know, like, I love how KL looks like at night, because the lights and everything. I just love KL that way. He also loves like gazing at KLCC, just sit there and just watch KLCC. Like, that's what I do. You guys might find it very weird, but that's what I do. Even we were in the car before going to the cafe. He asked me whether I have curfew or something. And I told him I don't. So yeah, coming to the topic. So basically, when he said that, it instantly clicked my mind. I told him, you know what, we can go to KLCC after we have our dinner, because we can't just keep sitting there and rotting there doing nothing and just talking. We can do something fun. And the fun that I referred to is just sitting and watching the beauty of KLCC. And he just looked at me, and I was like, why, what happened? And then he said that, yeah, actually I wanted to take you there. And I'm like, now, like, okay, is that supposed to be a surprise? And then he said, yeah. And I'm like, sometimes it's just better to keep your yapping mouth shut and just buat bodoh. It's way better. And I was like, did I just ruin your surprise? Then I was like, no, it's okay. And I was like, no, it's okay. It's actually equals to, yeah, bitch, you actually ruined the surprise. It was like that. After we had our dinner, we went to KLCC. We sat there, and then he sat right beside me, and then we were looking at KLCC. KLCC was right in front of us. Like, if you see my 2024 recap, that is the angle where I stood and I took a picture of that. And I still have that picture, surprisingly, because I went through the gallery and I still had the picture. There was like literally silence, you know. We didn't even like speak much. And you know what's the interesting part about this? We never felt awkward. Like, not from my part especially. I don't know about him, but I never felt awkward. Like, you know, like, if you're just silent, you just feel awkward and everything. He didn't feel that. I don't think so he even felt that. And then I said, like, what time should we go? And he said, anytime. Like, you tell me anytime. There's no problem. Yeah, we sat there like for a good 20-30 minutes. I texted him. I told him like the date was great. Like, you were very nice to me and everything. And he also said that you were great and everything. This question you may ask me, are we still talking? Like, did it like escalate to a second date? No, it did not. Are we in talking terms? No, we are not. Okay, so yeah, what went wrong? In that conversation that we were having, I got to know that he and me had fundamental differences. I'm not going to tell you what differences we had, but yeah, we had fundamental differences. He had a different belief and I had a different belief. Side note, by the word belief, don't get me wrong that I'm trying to say he's of a different religion. No, nothing like that. He is an Indian. It's just that the way he viewed life was very different from the way that I view life. And I felt that the difference was very fundamental. The 2 days I texted him and, you know, this is how it is, yada yada yada, and then he agreed to me and everything. To myself, right, like, let's just say I'm with this guy, like everything turns out to be good, but then I can't be going on with the belief saying that okay, he might change, he will compromise for me and everything. I can't go on with a belief like that, right? First of all, he's not obligated to change. And second of all, I can't be moving on with a hope like that. Like, what if he doesn't? I would be so devastated and disappointed. Because this the things that I'm telling you are very fundamental differences are very important in my life. It is a very important aspect in my life. So I can't be moving on with that thinking as well, right? So I was like, you know what, it's just better off just not like hurt each other's feelings more and just end it at the very initial stage. That is how it should be. Even if in the first day itself, you know this is not gonna work out because of the differences you guys have, end it. I'm telling y'all, end it. The world is not gonna end because of that. I take relationships very, very seriously because you can't just like toss around and play around with it because it involves someone else's feelings, you know, and also your feelings. Like, why would you want to put yourself in positions like that? That is what I asked myself. Okay, Prisha, like, this fella is great. This guy is a great man. He has a vision of his own. He knows what he wants in life where men these days lack. But the differences that we have is very crucial differences. Like, even he knew that the differences is actually very, very big. So I had no choice but to just tell him that, you know what, let's not go for the second date because I know how this is going to end. And he was very appreciative with how I approached him. And yeah, you may ask, are we still in contact or something? No, we are not. Actually, we followed each other on Instagram, and even after the date, we still followed each other on Instagram. But after a few months, he started posting like a private but not secret relationship kind of thing on his story. So I guess he met his girlfriend or something. He found his girlfriend. So I guess like I understood that he has a girlfriend now, which was great. Like, actually I didn't feel anything. I felt literally happy for him. This might surprise you all, but after some time, he also removed me from his Instagram. But guys, let me tell you all, I was so happy. First, okay, let's give it like this. He went on a date with me, hoping for a romantic relationship. Am I right? Okay. And he has a girlfriend now. Am I right? Yes. So him still having me in his contact in any way, Instagram or whatever, is very disrespectful to the girlfriend. You should respect the girlfriend, and that's exactly what he did. If you guys were expecting for tips and tricks, guess what? There's no tips and tricks. And I'm just hoping he doesn't come across this video. If he does, I'm just doing for education purposes. Because if I were to do this, I would have done this long ago in February or March itself. I'm doing this after fucking 12 months. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have a great day. That's all. Bye.
That is funny. See, this is what I'm talking about. Mature dating. Like, she's mature. She's been an adult for a little minute now. I'm assuming, like, she's not saying, you know, the young girl thing. Like, she knew from the first date that, oh no, this isn't gonna work. Why would I waste my time or your time? That's what I'm talking about. She's dating for marriage, not dating to be dating. Like, what are we doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like more people should date for marriage. Like, if you're not dating for marriage, you shouldn't date. Like yeah, date to, you know, have fun, but you're dating and being in relationships with people years, like 1 or 2 years, and it's going into 3 years, and there's no plan to marry. Like, I feel like a lot of females date for potential, like see the potential in somebody and date them hoping that they'll can mold them into whoever, or they're going to mold themselves, or they're going to elevate, or whatever the case may be. And that's all good in dating. Like, sometimes that works out. However, a lot of the times it doesn't, and people get hurt and be in their feelings. Like, especially I've heard a lot of cases where the person won't marry them. Like, they're looking for marriage. They're like, hey, Ring, what's going on? They break up, get with somebody else, be with them for like maybe a few months, and propose to them. And they get upset because it's like, no, I put in work for this person to make this person how they are, to treat you right, like to set you up for success. And it's just like, well, we shouldn't date for potential. Like, clearly they didn't want to be with you because they easily gave this person what you wanted. They went on trips or whatever, like all the things you wanted them to do, they did with this other person. So clearly that wasn't your person. Like, if they're not doing what you need to do, that's not your person. Like, let's let them go. Like, after that 3 months, if you're talking to somebody and they said the 3-month mark is when people show their true colors. Some people are sooner. Someone shows you their true colors, believe them and be like, You know, I don't want you to quickly jump to Captain Save-A-Ho. Like, oh, I can fix them. I can change them. I can do that. No, no, no. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing extra work? Like, why are we being moms and stuff when we don't need to be moms to these grown but people? Like, I'm confused. Like, would you want somebody who's already on your level or above you to, you know, live with, grow with, like, you know, be where you need them to be? I commend her for seeing that, hey, this is not gonna be it. Like, we're thinking different. Our life concerns, thoughts, aspects, how we're looking at life, our way of life is completely different. Like, what are we doing? I'm doing for marriage. I'm dating for marriage. So what? You got to think about the future, girl. Love that video, because that was definitely, it's a wake-up call that needs to be done to people to save their heart, save their feelings, save their mind, save it. Rather, if you can't find somebody who's on your level, work on yourself. That's all. It's simple. Date yourself, love yourself, and God will bring you that person when it's time. Girl, love that for you.
A few months ago, I was on my way to a first date, and the man did text me in the morning to confirm that we were still on for it. So I got ready, I drove over there, I got there on time, and I texted him and I was like, hey, I just parked, I'll be in a second. And maybe a minute later, I get a text back and he says, hey, your text actually just woke me up from a nap. I'm gonna get ready really quickly and then I'll be on my way over. Granted, this man lived about 30 minutes away. Obviously, I was annoyed. Like, I had taken the time to get ready, drive over here, and show up on time, and he couldn't even bother to set an alarm to wake him up from a nap, and then expects me to sit around for him for at least 30 minutes, probably more. I just found that super disrespectful of my time. So I just responded and said, don't even worry about it. I texted my girlfriend and she came and met me for drinks instead. So it worked out.
Love that for you, friend. I tell you, you see the difference in the ages of these ladies? The ages of these ladies just, it paves the way. The experience is paved by the age of these ladies. It was like, I had experiences. I know my self-worth. Why am I staying? No, it's over. Like, literally how I was thinking. If I got myself out of my freaking bed, let me, like, I'm over here enjoying my company. So the fact that I got up to be in your company, because I'm not going to say if I enjoy it. Like, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it, but I'm just going to enjoy my time with myself regardless of where I am in the moment. I do not feel joy from this. I gotta go. I got to go. So the fact that I got myself up out of my bed, my comfortable spot, my joy to meet you, and then you tell me, oh, I forgot about this, or I didn't even take the time to set an alarm. Oh, the date's over. Like, the date ain't even started and it's over. No date. What are we doing? I don't even want to see you ever again. Like, this is the end of our conversation right now. No more contact. No contact for real. Because now you just wasted my time. And from this one experience, I know that in the future that there's a possibility that you might waste my time. Like, what? Need to be start charging people for my time. Like, if you don't know, Friday, I had a new song that came out that literally said that. Literally in the lyrics, I'm gonna have to start charging people for wasting my time. Like, before, on the first meetup, I should charge you, like, what? By the hour to be in my presence, so you do not waste my time. Like, girl, what are we doing? She was just like, okay, let me identify. I identified the red flag, and we're just, it might have been orange. It might have been magenta. The fact that I read it was a tangerine orange flag, but the fact that I saw it, I'm gonna heed that caution. Like, clearly this ain't it. This ain't for me. I love that for you, friend. Make sure you like this video, follow all the creators, and subscribe